What's up, Total Metal Promotions? It's me here, Kyle, again, your founding admin for the page. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a cover here for Robots and Monsters, a band based out of, let's see here, they're based out of North Jersey, the Bergen County. Basically, they're a hardcore band that also has influences or mixed with old school metal. Okay, in this web series, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be reading you what I've asked them and what they sent me back in return for answers. This is what I'll be doing for the distance interviews. I know it may be boring just looking at my beautiful face the whole time, but I mean, it's my way of getting in contact, getting in touch, and getting this music and these bands out there. So, anyways, here it goes. Basically, like I said, it's Robot and Monsters, a hardcore mixed with old school metal out of Bergen County, North Jersey. The origin of the band name is pretty funny, actually. When I sent Dylan the question of what's your band or name origin and everything, he said, basically they'd been listening to a bunch of music on the radio and they had noticed that everything sounded really produced, like the drums sounded too triggered, the guitars just didn't sound like guitars, the vocals were just too compressed, or, you know, as I quote from what Dylan said, the vocals sounded like what the producers would use for Britney Spears and just squeezed together so much that, you know, it wasn't human sounding. So they wanted to start a band that would be more on the human level, where it's actually talent, not saying these other bands don't have talent, but it would be more of a human-based aspect where they weren't just a bunch of people trying to be as brutal as possible by any means possible. The band name came about when Dylan and Billy, they were texting back and forth, and they were just talking about how, like, all this music just sounds like robots and monsters, and, you know, it just sounds like the soul has been sucked out of metal, and it's not original anymore, and it's all just, you know, mainstream bullshit. And then I guess the name just kind of stuck. They both liked Robots and Monsters, and, you know, it's been working for them. They've been a band since the fall of 2013. However, they were completed their lineup in the fall of 2014 when Kevin Powers, also maybe more formerly known from Mucky Pup, he had joined, and also there was Kevin Powers and Billy, I think it was. Yes, no. Sorry. Billy also had been touring and playing with Mucky Pup as well, and they had been on many tours and albums with them for about 20 years or whatever. Derek Godino and Dylan himself have been playing in bands off and on together since grade school. When we were off for the summer during college, we would record under the name The Llama Project, and it was basically just goofy metal songs, you know, something to have fun with. When I hear that, it kind of just reminds me of Steel Panther, you know, just kind of the comedy, you know, just the fun kickback, have fun. And yeah, basically, and they had just recorded their album Down to Ash. When they first started recording it, they were doing it as a three-piece with, you know, band members taking over different aspects, playing different instruments and doing whatever they could, and that's when Kevin Powers joined to complete the lineup and everything like that. They had also played their first live show back in 2014 under the name of Robots and Monsters. Some of their accomplishments is they had been featured as Pick of the Week on That Metal Show, where Jimmy Florentine had picked their band to be showcased for 3 days. That's a big accomplishment. And also, they were selected as one of the WSOU Street Patrol bands and were featured on South Jersey's radio station WRAT. And also with that, for 3 nights. And they also got some play on Sirius XM, which, I mean, props to you guys, being able to be featured on Sirius XM. That's big accomplishments there. I asked them as well, how has your music evolved over the beginning of your like time being in the music business? And they said, I feel like we're less concerned with fitting into a genre now. We love the hardcore, but we're not married to that typical hardcore formula. We're not the tough guy hardcore. I'd like to think we're more of the more cerebral hardcore, like Snapcase or Refused. Also, Refused has been a big influence for me when I heard New Noise. That was a fucking great song. They also really love the heavy sludge metal, and sometimes you can hear that creeping up in their music and in some of their songs, and, you know, who doesn't like a good fucking sludge song every now and then, just to get down and fucking dirty too. With any band, there's always going to be obstacles and experiences, and, you know, they're going to affect you in many adverse or positive ways. And Dylan replied to me back, I think the biggest obstacle is not exclusive to Robots and Monsters. It's landing a show with an actual audience and consistent basis. They played a lot of great shows and have some great shows coming up. For one, they're actually opening up for DRI and Warrior Soul. Just to name a couple. I mean, if you're in the area for those shows, check them out. It's going to be worth your fucking time. But it's always the same thing. A venue wants to book you, and their first question is what's your draw? I mean, I get it. It's business. Everyone wants to make a cut. Everyone wants to make money. But if you're a local band, there's only so many times you can force your friends to come out and see you, especially on a weeknight, when they're going to be like, hey, dude, I've come and seen you like fucking 100 times. I'm sorry, I got to fucking work tomorrow. It's the same old shit. Like, I mean, and you got to get promoters out there to get you better shows. You got to get venues who will book you on better days. You know, you got to have a properly promoted show so that way you can have advertisement, you can have flyers out, you can have everything. You know, bands promote themselves a fair bit. They rely on friends also to promote them as well. I mean, it's a cost-efficient thing when you have like a non-profit like what we do, or, you know, but it's always hard to just get out there, and it's shitty to play a weekday show because as much as you're a fan and you always want to be there, sometimes Wednesday at like midnight you just want to fucking go to bed because you got to be up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning to get ready for work, and you're just like, it's not gonna fucking happen. Meanwhile, there might be some really great bands who can't get good gigs basically because they don't have a bunch of friends who are willing to stay until midnight on a Wednesday night, like I'd been saying, you know, because they have jobs and responsibilities. And, you know, that's a big aspect and issue for everybody. But, you know, if you can push through it, you can get your name out there, it's all worth your while. I would also ask them, where do you see your guys' band going in the next year, you know, like in the next year or 2 or 3, kind of, you know, even if there's a 5-year plan or whatever. And they said, you know, a year from now they'd like to have a second album recorded, which is great because, you know, to have another album follow up your first album, to blow it out of the water, or to, you know, pick up where it left off, give something to your fans so they have something to hang on to, and just be able to play a couple decent shows and have a fan base that isn't just friends coming out to support them. It's actually people who have heard their stuff and are like, hey, you know what, I want to go out and support that band. I want them to get noticed. I want them to get big. You know, just generosity of people. I have a couple links here that I will post below for you guys. I have a Facebook page, internet page, a Reverb Nations, and a YouTube. I mean, if you guys can, give these guys a hand, share their shit, get on their level. They're people just like us who want to succeed in life and what they chose to do. I mean, I was in a band, it didn't work out. That's why I'm out in the promoting aspect of it. You know, just do what you can, support these guys, like, share this video, the YouTube page, the Facebook pages. Like, just get everybody here a following. I mean, it's only going to benefit like us, because then we're going to have a bigger platform to share everyone's shit on. Plus they're going to have more of a fan base because more people are going to be able to have access to their music and know about their stuff. Anyways, Tom L Promotions, this has been another webisode of interviews. Keep it metal.